The Beef and Barnzy Show, brought to you by Bowlersmart.com, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowlers Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Road to Grit, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy Show. Today we're going to give stuff away. So this is where the most knowledgeable people come to be heard and to hear. And and that's probably something you're not going to see. But you won't get stuck in the chimney either. So we got them the whole night, the whole day. But as usual, I'm Barnzy, joined by the unimitable Beef Stew. How are you?
I'm better today than I was the day before. I made an asshole of myself in Houston, I would say, would be the best way of describing my performance. The one thing I'm supposed to be good at, I couldn't do on lane one, couldn't make a spare. So me and Chris managed to snag the last cash. Still quite confused as to how many times I didn't strike. We both Chris got off to a really good start on playing the sort of the out. He was doing what you're supposed to do in regionals, which is throw a urethane ball.
Right.
And it was pretty good. We were looking pretty good. And I guess as part of my video that I'm trying to still put together on the Next Factor, we got a bit the good, the bad, and the ugly out of the Next Factor, I think. It was the only ball I could hit the pocket with, but it also didn't want to strike a ton, which is somewhat what you get with some of those higher RG balls sometimes. They're trying to fake you out a little bit.
Yeah.
And
so we're clear, I thought you bowled pretty good. But for the people that don't know, you have some arthritis issues in your finger. You've made some changes.
Yeah.
And you're rolling it a little bit more. And from the back, what I saw is it brings your ball reaction not to mine, but closer.
Yeah.
In that direction. But your eyes haven't caught up with what your hand's making you do right now. And the Next Factor gave you the shape that you want to see.
Yeah.
But it really just wouldn't strike. I mean, the last game was perfect. It was 3-bagger, 7-10. Strike, scout in front of the 10. Strike, flat 10. Strike, 8-pin.
Yeah. Yeah.
203 or whatever it was.
It was
for a game that could have been 270.
It says team never wrong. It was team always wrong on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, the last 5 games, I was 20. I was basically even after starting 110 over. I would think I was 10 over the rest of the way, and you were 10 over the rest of the way. And
yeah,
they were tricky, but they weren't that tricky.
Yeah, I think the thing that was shitty about it was if we'd have made it, we would have either lost 3-0 or it would have been totally different because we'd have had such a different plan relative to what I was doing. But I think you described it the best way that I heard. It felt like the front 10 feet of the lane was dished and the back 30 feet of the lane was crowned. And my ball definitely read both of those in the not useful way.
Yeah.
But I went to league last night and I bowled 850. So, yeah, PBA tournaments are a little different from league. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to have any of that here in Texas. It's 70 degrees today. So,
yes. For reference for people, it's so nice currently here that Brady has a bounce house in the backyard for Christmas. That's not how Christmas was when I was growing up.
Yeah,
and that's not to say that I wasn't spoiled. is just to say that if there was a bounce house outside, I would probably have to have been wearing enough clothes that made it look like I was already my own bounce house because it was freezing.
Yeah, Nico's asked this a couple times already. Without knowing the cost to register, I'm surprised that Brunswick didn't register C300. Well, I mean, here's my unvarnished take on that: is that Brunswick completed the job or didn't want to spend the resources to rise from the dead when Ebonite started, and that was killing that brand. The sales aren't good. It's basically all their balls in the last year have been remakes of balls from the 90s. And some of them are actually pretty good. I mean, from afar watching, like they look like they roll pretty good, and the guys on tour are throwing them, but nobody bought them. So it's tough. But bike registration costs go up every year, and they find a way to. I mean, the two options are either you start cutting out brands like that, or you start cutting staff contracts, or both. And so, probably if I was with the Brunswick brands, I'm probably happier they decided to cut a brand than cut more staff or more decreases in all the salaries.
So just for everybody, we're gonna have we're gonna do the usual giveaways that we do on if you buy anything on beefandbarnzy.com, you'll get a couple of entries per dollar. If you submit a super chat, you'll get whatever. So like we've got a couple of $10 super chats coming in here. The guys from last week who contributes to the show are going to be in as well. I will figure out doing that because that takes a little bit of time to put everything together. We're also I'm gonna do I'm gonna count the actual chats, any chat from Facebook or from the YouTube, and we're just gonna have a number, and then I'm gonna count down. I'm gonna do pick a number on one of these things, and whatever number that lines up with the chat is going to win a bowling ball. That's a non-super chat ball. That's just it's Christmas. You won't get it for Christmas, but you will know that it's coming.
We're doing merch too, or just bowling balls today?
We can do some merch if you want to. Also, yeah, we'll throw some t-shirts in for sure. Thanks, Sean. Yeah, it was a fun. It was a fun night.
Yeah, super happy for you.
Missing twice. Yeah, bit of fun. So anyway, let's get on with these super chats. Does Ryan? Basically, you have to use pitch on your fingers just for reference. Otherwise, they'll clash very quickly. Because you're drilling into a center.
Yeah, in general, 3/8 is the standard. A lot of people use
side pitch,
lateral. Like I use quarter. I'm quarter half, but basically it adds up to about 3/4. Some people even a little bit more than that. Reverse, he's played around. It's at least a half. At one point, it was a little bit more than that. He may chat in with what it is, but and his PAP has moved around a little bit, but I believe it's in the 5 1/4 up a half kind of thing. Well, here
I'm a half and 5/8 reverse.
Okay, half in the middle finger, 5/8 reverse, and then your PAP now.
This is quite funny.
5 over 3/4 up. That's pretty low for a two-hander.
It's pretty high, right?
Well, I mean, it's a low number. I mean, I meant the track being that far away from your fingers. It's actually very traditional. But yeah,
3/4 up is quite a lot, right?
3/4 up is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots. I mean, just because of where you measure from.
Yeah, because that's like if you think that the average male hand's somewhere around like the cut to cuts, the middle of the grip is somewhere around 2 inches.
Yeah. As you go across, it ends up
it does catch up a little bit.
The math of it, I believe it ends up being about 3/4 of an inch apart, but that's very guessing. Yeah, that's an extra. He's basically an inch up or a little more. So from what a thumb end ball, guy would have. So,
hey, Jason, thank you. Thanks for being part of the show all year. Appreciate you.
yes,
Michael, thank you. And then, hey, how are we doing, boss? Thank you. Appreciate it. We will try to keep it up. Yes, you are. You are all in. Also, I understand that we have some people who watch from all over the place. I can't ship it outside of the States. It's just a pain in the ass. And yeah, it would go from being a freebie to like the world's most expensive freebie. So I'm sorry. I appreciate you guys, but it's not going to happen.
Skillings, yeah, she was happy. She finished 4th. It turned into a one-day tournament, and she just ran out of gas.
Who won?
Alicia Sledge.
Oh yeah. Good bowler.
I know of her. I don't know that I've met her, but she bowled very well. She ran Linda over. Actually, she went 250, 230 in her best of 3 match, and so Sarah Klassen was in the winners final, and Alicia beat her twice. So
bang bang.
Yep.
So yes. Sorry, Chris.
Daniel says, I feel like I contribute to the show every week, if not monetarily, sometimes even positively. True. We appreciate your special brand.
Candor.
There we go.
Rob. Did we get Mr. Tibbs? Thank you. Not Mr. Tibbs. Rob, thanks you very much. He said, happy holidays. One of my most memorable bowling moments was being on the same lanes as Chris at Budmore, PBA 50. I stunk, but he was so classy over the 3 days.
We had a good time up there. That was
I was about to say, I've had some memorable times on the lanes with Chris, but not usually when he's being a good boy.
They make you laugh, but not from the same thing.
I think I really, really do think my favorite thing about bowling when you get annoyed is Linda being there.
Oof, the look on her face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Libelous? I'd say accurate. I think you used the wrong word.
And he also said, I feel like I contribute. No, we appreciate all of you guys. So sorry. The Mitch man is still looking for the Beef and Barnzy skirt. Yeah. Email Kulik. That's what we need to do.
Well, not at Linda. No, but
no. It's when when he slaps a chair or knocks it over or kicks it, or Linda's just like, think Lee Trevino in Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, just
classy, but always a little bit smart assy. You stayed classy, San Diego. Thank you, David. Appreciate it. Thanks for being part of it. Yeah. So we're like I say, we're just we are just really wrapping up the year. I don't think we are going to I don't think we're going to have another show this year. I may well just come on briefly next week once I've had a chance to set up the drawings, or just to because I'd like to get that in this year's budget. But it's just a little awkward Christmas week, I think. That week between Christmas and New Year, everybody's got a million different things to do.
Lee says, what do you think of the Baker style format? And for those, we bowled the over under 50 doubles last weekend. historically it's been a round robin, either a Baker round robin or a full game round robin. The full game took ages to get done. The Baker one felt like it went pretty quick. This time they went best of 5, best of 5, best of 3, best of 3. What we thought about it, we didn't think about it because we didn't participate in it. But yeah, I got the impression from Mike, well, I think he said as much, that is not going to be the format moving forward. There was something about League Pals is why he had to do it that way. But I didn't hear what it was going to be. I thought it was a little too short myself. But
I think that there is a very small group of bowlers who have an opinion over what the finals format is. And I'm not saying any of them are right or wrong. I just think that variety is the spice of life. I think that once we went to Baker, that could have been fine. But like, I think that if we'd have bowled best of 5, but you bowled like 2-game total, so you bowled 1 full game on each lane for the best of 5, I think that would have been, that would have been a kind of a longer format. I think it's always a little rough when you could make the finals and bowl 15 shots and be done.
Yeah.
So that part of it. No, we bowled round robin. You just haven't had doubles round robin. Now, maybe you did bowl doubles round robin, and like maybe it was. Mike is giving, I think, more feedback to the League Pals people because he has experience of dealing with software like feedback type, trying to find the issues with it. I guess
he's an exec with Verizon before he came over, and so I don't know what he was looking to do something with it, but I guess depending on what we end up with, I guess we'll know what he was. I don't know. He's not really. It's not quite like the guy in your region who blames the guy not in a room every time for what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenge this year with the League Pals thing. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a challenge with ever since we decided that our old software wasn't any good, which could handle any format, and it's been, well, shit since then.
Yes. Thank you, Mark. Yes, Mark is the head everything guy over at Highland Lanes. I even give you a shout out. I thank Schlem and you. I appreciate all your help all year. We have a very long text stream and it says something like, can I get a lane? 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 And then the next text is happy birthday. Then it's, can I get a lane? Can I get a for an entire year. So I appreciate you, Mark. Thanks a lot. Have a good Christmas. Mr. Jones, thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
Clifton, many times contribute to the show.
100%.
Christmas ham or Christmas turkey? Well, being as I'm English and we don't have Thanksgiving, I'm generally a turkey guy. I think we are going to do a little bit of turkey, but we're going to do like a prime rib this year. So I think.
Blanco was expecting a Drake May jersey today.
Fun thing. I bought a 10 Patriots jersey because it was on sale and I was half awake. When it arrived, I realized it was on sale because it was a Matt Jones jersey, not a Drake May jersey. Oopsie doops.
Now you need one of those plaques we used to wear on the back of our jerseys back in the 90s.
And the irony of it
Put it
is,
over the.
I really dislike Matt Jones as well. So Delta Bombers, thank you. Yeah, we haven't had as many guests this year. But yes, the ones we have had have come in strong. Yeah.
I'm a ham guy. We're gonna have ham here, so
yeah.
We don't mess around with the turkey.
Unless I get my buddy Nick to do it, I'm probably going to be doing the 500 method. Because I don't have a smoker.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, his travel schedule is since whatever that was, November 19th. I think he's going to have about 50 days on the road out of 70 or something like that. So he'll be busy.
I was about to say, welcome to our life 15 years ago.
I'm telling you, and better to do it now before you have kids and wives and everything else. So,
what is your opinion of the Ion Max for the 2003 USB-C Masters patent? I honestly have no idea what the 2003 USB-C Masters patent was. If I was to guess, based on all of those things, I would say the Ion Max is probably way too strong because 2003 was a long time ago, and the Ion Max is about 50 boards stronger than the balls that were out in 2003.
The last time I can remember using the Masters being slick was probably Albuquerque, which was before you. I mean, it was, and that's the last time you probably could have used that ball, unless you were on. Back then, it was A through F squad too, I think, still, and so. If you caught A squad, maybe 23. Well, that's
I figured that's probably what it meant. I just was like, it was funnier to lead in.
Was that South Point? Which I don't even know where it was at.
23. So what year is it now? 25. It was in Detroit. It was the first time they did it was when you had the Kyle Sherman match.
Yeah, the 46 foot or whatever, long with the bumper on the gutter.
It actually looked okay if you could get it through the front part of the lane. Because the Ion Max is pretty good for, keeping the ball in front of you. So something strong like that. Obviously, the Ion Max wasn't out for that tournament. Yeah. I'm saying like using stronger balls and keeping them in front of you looked.
I think the ball people would use now is probably the Hyperdrive. Okay. But a lot of ended up going down to shinier rolly balls to get through the front and just keep them on line and kept them in front of us. Except for, Velmo and a few guys that could actually make it hook, like legitimately yank it chain. But even with his rev rate, you had to have superior speed control, which, he's in a different level of most of those guys as far as being able to throw it slow. Ryan Bull within that year and how much he could make his ball hook with the same rev rate was it was an eye-opening experience of and Ryan was still in college then. He hadn't seen exactly some of the things that really separate the guys on tour yet.
Yeah, being able to make your ball slow down is a big.
Yeah, when there's nothing to slow it down.
2024, they really struggled in Vegas. Was the year that Nick was fairly convinced that he used the wrong oil on the way back or the way forward or whatever. And
is that 20? That was 24, right? That was D-Ron and those guys.
Yeah, when D-Ron won.
One lefty made the bracket.
Now, the previous year in Detroit, there was plenty, and maybe that influenced his decision a little bit.
Previous 20 years, there's been plenty.
Yeah,
the bracket's normally about 1/3 left-handed.
Yeah.
I mean, it just is. It's a symmetrical thing set up for the matches, and so it gets real heavy left-handed if you're playing the percentage game to get in. And then, but that was a miss. And that's a place where when the seniors had bowled there, the left bombed them. And it was 4 or 5 years previous. But they were going off some old data and missed. And Nick doesn't miss big that way most of the time.
It was quite refreshing.
He generally favors a little bit the other way, but
I was about to say, a pretty good one. It was quite refreshing that he did just hold his hands up and go, yeah, that was a mistake.
It's really hard to do lanes on the tour. And the most irritating part for us is we make mistakes all the time as bowlers, and we have to own them. And that they just go,
I still think my most irritating part is, well, you're not playing them right. Okay. Gabriel, when adding more rotation, do you adjust your stance finger position or wrist angle, or do you keep everything the same and create the rotation later? Do you ever use a combination of both?
I'm a feel guy, but I have static moves. If that makes sense. Like, so there's times I try and get around it a little bit more, but I try and relegate those to a little bit of touch. And there's some days you don't have it. So I'll have a normal hand position. I'll have one where I really get up the back, and I'll have one where I get up on the side of it. And that's kind of the three basic starting positions. And then out of that, hey, I need a little more. And then you'll try and catch it a little bit more at the bottom. But I don't want it to be more than a board or two. If I have to feel that every day, there'd be just days where I bowled awful and days where I bowled fine. And that's how I went through it through the better part of my career, was just adding a touch more, but the static hand positions got me to a base that gave me a floor of this is what I have today. And I can use at least that. And then the touch part would go from there.
The only thing I would say about starting with different hand positions, because I see it a lot, you're one of the few people who's strong enough to really hold, your position the whole way through, is videotape yourself from the side, get someone to take a picture or put it on a tripod, and just make sure that you don't start, like all crunched up like Chris does. And then when you push it away, your hand goes into exactly the same position, because I see that happen so many times. So it's just like you just stand there uncomfortable for a while with your hand in a certain position, but it makes no difference at all, because the second you push it away, your wrist collapse and you're in the same position. For me, I am totally a feel guy. So I see this when I want to create more rotation. I think about my ring finger rotating more underneath the bottom of the ball. So I think about my ring finger feeling like it's more going, from west to east. And like when I'm going more up the back of it, I'm thinking about it going from, south to north, so to speak. That's not for everybody. That's just the way, like, that's the feel thing that I have. I think in general, the only thing I would say is I tend to be a little more open when I'm adding rotation, because very rarely do I add rotation and not have more angle. Like generally when I'm adding rotation, it's because I want to play a bigger angle. It's very rare for me anyway, that when I'm bowling straighter that I want to add more rotation. I mean, so in that regard, yes, I would change my stance, but mainly that's just because I'm trying to reset the angle a little bit. Gig 'em.
They've made the playoffs. They have not scored a touchdown in them yet.
Yep. Same amount of touchdowns as the as the Longhorns in the playoffs. Hello. I've had the front 10 in the last 2 weeks twice. Stone 8 the first time. Yeah, we're a little sore about the Stone 8. And 4 pin the second time. Can you guys give me some mojo for next time? I mean, for me anyway, if I'm bowling on a house shot with kind of the way I bowl, in the 8th frame, I tend to make a little bit of a move left, because I know the lane's fairly easy, and I also know that I've got 4 shots left on that lane. So I'd almost rather miss in the 8th than the 11th. So I make a little bit of a move in the 8th frame. Now that wouldn't have helped you on the 8 pin, but maybe on the 4 pin, it might have helped you a little bit. But shooting 300's cool. Like, it's still fun. Like, I still get a little bit of, it's still fun. Like, so I just think you just gotta take a deep breath and just, hope you make a good shot. Everybody gets a little bit like jacked up on those couple of shots, but that's the fun part of having the front 10.
I mean, you've made 2 pretty good shots. Stone 8 obviously is a great shot. The 4 pin could be a move, could have missed a little bit. In league, it probably means you missed a little right, I guess, if you 4 pinned.
Yeah, or it just picked up a little soon because you'd bowled, you'd hit the same spot too many times.
I mean, last night in league, we have we're bowling the Lavery brothers, so we have like 3 or 4 touring guys all bowling at the same time. It's
Yeah, I had the opposite. The other team was one short, and I bowled with a lefty and Tina. So wasn't much transition.
Teal Jaguar. Happy holidays. First off, rib roast for Christmas. I like it. I actually like that. That's, I don't know. We've never done that, but that's not against it. Also, a question: what's a good ASIM pearl for a beginner? I think our current vote is, well, I'll just speak for me. Probably a Viking right now is a nice middle. Seems to roll good for a lot of people.
Yeah,
Equinox, that kind of thing. But
yeah, I like that. I mean, I think that there are definitely a few options out there. I just think,
100%.
yeah, it depends what else you have. I mean, for me, maybe the Gremlin's a good choice because it's a little cheaper for a beginner. But like, I'm not sure necessarily. It depending on how you're terming beginner, that an ASIM pearl is necessarily the, my first go-to. But yeah, maybe you'll win this drawing, and then you can just pick whichever one you want.
Tuck your pinky fixes everything. From
Ironically, I just stopped doing that because I was
Hmm.
putting so much pressure. That's part of the reason why my ball rolls are a bit different. But Merry Christmas, Bug.
It's from our favorite elf.
The Aggie, happy holidays.
All
Yep,
right.
you too. Billy, thanks for the stream, Beef and Barnzy. Always appreciate you guys. Yeah, appreciate you too. Anybody who's part of the show. Here's a good question that we get asked quite a bit. And I don't really think it's a problem to spin around. Where is it? There you go. What is a good way to slow the ball speed down?
I mean, I think the easiest way is just to move up on the approach 12 to 18 inches and then do everything pace wise the same. So you're just covering less distance in the same amount of time. That's generally my go-to. So if you're way up on the approach, that gets a little trickier. But Joey, and when you move up, just make sure that you're not getting forward because it's pretty easy when the steps are short. Thanks, Chris.
Hey, Chris, can you do me a favor? Can you send me your order through the confirmation email to beefandbarnzy@gmail.com? I don't know whether something got changed on the back end, but I'm just not necessarily seeing it on my end. So that would be a bit of a problem for me trying to figure this out because usually I get all the emails for like apparel orders, and I don't know whether they've changed something at their end. So
okay,
that would be helpful.
So anybody who's ordered, make sure you
yeah. If you've ordered today, just forward me the email to beefandbarnzy@gmail.com, and I'll reach out to Coolwick in the meantime and try and get that so I can get everybody's orders put in, because I was a little surprised that nobody had ordered. So if you have ordered, just forward me that email, and we'll go from there. But thanks for the order. Appreciate you. I don't want to miss anybody out. That's the only problem. And technology is great until it's not. In a surprisingly good mood 2 days before Christmas. Bosses were good to me this year, so passing it on. Thanks for a great year of shows. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate you. I'm glad that your boss appreciates you too.
sure.
So have a great 2026. Thanks for being part of the shows. Good morning, gentlemen. Well, surely you meant gentleman then, eh, Butch? And Stu, hope you all have a very Merry Christmas. Man, I hope Lane Kiffin's just as bad as the last guy. Have a great Christmas. Looking forward to bowling with Chris and Ryan in Kawasaki at the end of in Kawasaki at the end of January. So there you go, Chris.
Yeah, Lorraine and I are doing a legacy tour in Japan at the end of January. That will be fun. So
858 is huge, awesome, and obviously I need to get back to my follow-through work too. Seems to work. Yeah, maybe. If they've got them on the PBA truck, probably. But I've got Donna's spare ball as well. I have to keep up my appearances with D-Ron, because D-Ron is convinced that every single time he sees me bowl, I have a different spare ball. So, got to keep up the appearances for that for D-Ron.
drawing. Love it. Book is a vibe.
He's something.
Can't tuck my pinky anymore. It feels like arthritis.
Yeah, right there with you.
Yeah.
Is anybody more happy than Bug, though? That's the difference. Like, Bug is always happy.
He fakes it well anyway. Drawing. Yeah. Yanked my Ultra Reality out of the basement, threw an interchangeable in it. Forgotten how good that ball rolls. Yeah. It was a good one. Can't use it at Nationals. Been stuck at 200 average for a couple of years in league. Tried to make changes to my bowling style with no success. I'm looking to become more consistent. What would you both suggest I try?
This is a very broad question. I personally would take a couple of videos and send them to Mark Baker at bakerbowling.com, markbakerbowling.com. I think that he has a bunch of good ideas for people to try, because he works with way more people. Some of the things that we see, though, just straight off the rip, people getting really far forward when they bowl rather than keeping their chest up. Leading with their, like, pulling it down and leading with your right shoulder is another thing. Nothing really positive comes from that. You get your once you bring your shoulder forward, your elbow goes out. And overall, I just think that, like, having a spare system, as silly as that sounds, not having to think about, where you're going to, sit, where you're going to stand to shoot those spares. Like, you should know, you shouldn't have to think about it, type of deal. Like, when you leave the 3-6-10, you're going to stand here, I'm going to throw my plastic ball. Like, just stuff like that, I think generally helps to get
I don't want to
that.
be oversimplistic, but basically footwork, making sure you slide in the same spot each time intentionally, and then upper body position, especially that gets quieter. Most people that struggle with that, like Stu says, has an excessive amount, and then they pop out of it sometimes, and then other times they don't. And so I tend to talk about it as being a little taller through, and then making it one motion all the way through versus kind of down and up. Makes it harder to repeat. So the more quiet you can make that, the more consistent you do your footwork. The footwork will especially help your spare game.
But yeah, I mean, it is kind of the first, well, not necessarily the first, but one of the big hurdles to get over, getting that 200 average. And you also, just from a mental side of it, being able to cut out those games under 160 is the big thing to be able to keep your average up. So, Jason, Loves it. Back in again. Appreciate you.
Tina says, DM me for a dress. Free giveaways of extra spare balls.
Oh, God. They're all smashed to pieces is the other problem.
Yeah.
And also, if they're,
they just don't survive.
Yeah, well, it's also, if I start messing with them, they're gone. Like, the one I'm using right now is only still alive because I didn't want to drill another one before the end of the year. Because after its performance on lane 1, I didn't think it was possible. I missed all of the 3-6-10.
Yeah, the wall being that close did have something to do with it, in my opinion. But
yeah, probably. But like, I didn't really think about the ball until the 3-6-10 at the wall, and then it hit the lane and bounced dead left, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was it. That was fun.
Oh God. Yeah, I mean, I think that the plastic balls hold up fine until you start clobbering the holes, like I do, and once you start going over the thumb hole,
yeah, you have to bevel the heck out of those
yeah,
things to give them a chance. But
and
yeah,
and also that ball at the minute has a switch grip in it, so now the thumb hole is even bigger than it's supposed to be.
My spare system is to miss most of them, so my partner can appreciate when I do make one. It's from Dandy Don.
I mean, everybody's like acting like this isn't a thing. It's the ball's fault. Like, I feel like you're like thinking like I'm not serious. Like, Chris, I don't think they understand, do they?
I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Like, once it starts missing, she gone.
I'm gonna put the exact same thumb back in the next one,
but it's just not going to be this one.
It's not changing anything.
Once it gets the bad juju, she gone. Dom had 3 spare balls in one tournament.
Yeah, you guys have a different. Yeah.
To be fair, the first one started cracking, and he's just like, "Oh, I'll just drill another one. This is Dom." Like, it was one of those. I think it was one of those. You know, the gold one that looked like
yeah, sure,
Kingpin. So anyway, he got rid of that. He drilled another one. He couldn't make a spare with it, so he said, "Nope, that one's gone. Let's do another one." I just if sometimes they just give you bad juju. I have Specto at the center I practice. What speed range would you advise me to get accurate with? My current speed that I bowl at is launch around 18.
To be on tour, probably 2 miles an hour.
Either side?
Well, no, just total. I mean, whatever it is, 17 to 19, 16 to 18, whatever it is. I mean, that's a minimum, in my opinion. I think the best players are probably closer to 3 to 4. Now, I don't get to use the range, the extremities that much, but like I said, when we bowled in at Thunderbolt in the Masters, he got to show one that not many people use. So, and it worked out pretty good.
Sorry, my friend is back.
Nick, you guys win your fair share of high game and eliminator pots with how good you are. What's a fair tip for the person collecting the jackpots? For example, if you win 155, what would you tip?
What a strange number that you picked out of thin air, Nick.
Well, my question is the person collecting already taking money out? I've had a person at the bracket table expect a tip when I won brackets before, after they already took 12.5% out of each bracket. I went, well, that's ballsy. But none.
Yeah, Nick, you're asking the wrong audience here.
No. If you're taking out money to run it, you're not getting anything. That's not.
I mean, I gave the guy a 10 spot.
No,
I
you're
could have
nice.
been 15.
Yeah.
The problem
Lots of
is,
times the people that run that take some money out and also give themselves a free entry and a free swing at it.
no, this guy just runs it like at the back. He doesn't bowl. So
yeah, and our guy
He's
on
a
Monday
nice
nights
guy.
just runs them, and he has more money than all of it. He's not doing it for the money, but he takes his 12%, and I don't think he gets a lot of tip money. Tip money is 10% for collecting scores isn't bad. So
yeah,
what I
so
found is if you run a $5 bracket, you get $5 per. And if you want a $20 bracket, you get $20 per for the same work. Seems kind of insane to me, but realtors do the same thing. So, where are we
had
at?
a couple of orders come through. Thanks for the guys who forwarded it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get with them and figure out what's going on. But thanks for forwarding the orders. That at least lets me know what's going on. And I'll get with them. Obviously, that's going to make it maybe a little bit challenging because I guess now for our stuff that's all made to order, they're probably not huge priorities right now, 2 days before Christmas, because they're not making something and getting it out in time. So
yeah, well, at this point, they should be slowing down. The orders should have slowed down now, but
that's all I'm saying. Like
now tour starts, so you got that whole mess to catch up on.
But I'll get onto it. But thanks for those guys. Like I say, if you submitted an order on beefandbarnzy.com, if you can forward me the email, it'll make my life a lot easier to keep up with, what's going on and like getting you into this drawing that I'm going to put together. But I'm going to reach out and get it.
Cole, our buddy, you guys are getting tips from running brackets. I'm getting shafted here.
Did we do Dugan?
No, we didn't get
Dugan.
Happy holidays from Erie, home of Eastway. Yep, my first time, first title was there. In it was in the arena, but I made it to there. Buy yourself a Kickstarter too. Yeah, I wish we still went back there, but
is Erie is the Bob Lund?
Yeah. Well, the local college is where they put the arena in for. Holds about 3,000 people. It was one of the best venues on tour. That was the one that made me want to go on tour, was watch and learn in that thing, and the place go crazy, and like closest thing to a basketball arena.
Since fit at matchmakers isn't likely, yes, it's about right. How much do you think it matters on not getting fooled on ball reaction so you don't regret purchases? Quite a bit. I think that taking your own ball down for a comparison is a good thing to do. If you take a Brunswick ball into a Storm matchmaker, they're not super thrilled. But, if you have a good relationship with the pro shop, they don't care because you're just trying to buy a ball. So, and just be upfront with the guy. Look, I'm trying to find a ball off this one. This is why I brought it down.
Yeah, I would never be afraid to bring whatever ball you want to.
Yeah, but
I think every company is pretty comfortable with their equipment in those matchmakers, whatever version they call it.
But either way, I think that having another ball as a, how would you put it? Like the control, I guess. Mm-hmm. So you kind of know what the conditions are like, because you've got no way of knowing, exactly what they're like that day, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, the best, exactly. Just bring a control piece that you know what it does, and then that'll give you an idea of what you're getting. Because one thing you don't want is the exact same ball anyway. You want something that's either more or less. That's something your current one doesn't.
GSP, I'm getting my first purple hammer for Christmas. What drilling would you suggest for a right-handed one-hander 550 RPMs? Well, congratulations on that. I think that on the purple hammers that I've seen, most people have drilled them fairly strong just because there's almost no diff in the ball at all.
Yeah, strong and up.
So I, probably like a 4-inch pin with like a 2-inch buffer, something like that would be what I would go with.
4.5 for sure. Doesn't seem to matter much. They all seem to roll pretty good.
Yeah. And if it isn't rolling pretty good, you probably just don't have enough surface on it. It's been my experience watching them for the last 10 years. Hey, Trav, thanks for cheering us on again. If your messengers could have connected, you would have been way higher in the standings. Hurt my heart for you all. Yeah, I mean, I had about 6 messages last night, so just one of those would have been useful.
Yeah, just the 8th pin and the 10th would have been enough to get us in. So
yeah. It was an interesting experience, for sure. Don't know what she's doing, but she's yelling, "It's Christmas." Love you, dear. Charles, just put holes in the Equinox Solid. Might be my new favorite. Shot 595 with it for the first set. Went 50 by 4.5 by 35. What's your favorite layout on it? For me, I was somewhere closer to like a 60 by 5 by like, oh God, what would it have been? Like a 70, something like that. I had the pin underneath the ring. That worked the best for me. I actually didn't particularly love the pinup layout, which is fairly unusual for me.
I liked mine down as well. Mine's about 4.5.
I just
Storm, it's 4.5 by 3 by 4.5, I guess. So
I just think that it transitions really quickly, I think, in the front part of the lane, that ball. So even though it ends up being quite smooth, I think it's quite quick in the front part of the lane. So I liked it a little bit better when I went down, because it just made that hook window a little longer.
Watch some of the recent Korea footage and noticed all the different SPI balls that were available there. Will those balls be available everywhere later, or are they Korea exclusives? Most of the time, they are exclusive international balls. Sometimes they're specific to that particular distributor in Korea, but lots of times it'll be the same ball. It'll be an Equinox Solid, but with different colors. Or no, that's not the ball. But once upon a time, there was like, I think it was 17 different Badger colors over in Asia. So, and then a couple of them did come back because they rolled so good that it ended up being a future release over here. But generally speaking, not. So, question for Chris: how do you practice double burn? It's very, very difficult because, yeah, I mean, there's not any way to really, even if you go to someplace that doesn't run the lanes, it's mostly plastic balls down the middle, so it's not really reflective. They're just super tight down lane. They're not necessarily how they break down on a tour type thing. If you can find a local scratch league kind of thing and go in after they bowl 3 games a team, that's probably the closest that you can get. Because you have 15 games on them. The longest blocks we bowl are 7 or 8 games, which is 14 games. So you get an idea at least at the start. But that's probably, unfortunately, about as good as it gets.
I meant to say that we've actually got 2 balls to give away in the for the super chats. Our friend, yeah, that is celebration time. So we're gonna have 3 balls total. Our friend Casey Mattingly kindly volunteered to donate another ball to the stream last week. So shout out to him. Thanks for your support. He wanted to give back after he was able to get hold of one of the Platinum Ford spare balls. So shout out to Casey. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, 100%. I would bring a ball to as a control ball. If they're not allowing you, I don't. That's
no.
So, hey guys, need layout help? 370 revs, 15 miles per hour on the monitor. So that's probably 17-ish or so. So it's pretty well matched. Can't tell if it's burning up or not. slowing down, just not enough motion on long and heavy.
I think generally if you're bowling on a long pattern, I would think that your eyes are not adjusted to the fact that it's not going to hook as much down lane regardless. So yes, it may well be burning up, but also there is a big change as to when the pattern is longer as to how much the ball hooks, even when it's not burning up. Would you say that's a fair,
Yeah, that's probably
descriptor?
Yeah. In general, I mean, you want to throw the strongest ball that'll still go through, but most of the time they pick up super quick, and then they're not quick enough at the end of the pattern where there's only 15 feet of back end to get it to hook. And so the best guys end up really throwing more medium balls, but they get their speed down and are able to get something a little quicker off the end of the pattern and able to take advantage of. You think of Pete. Pete's great on long patterns, floats it through the front, and then so much rotation he can really, and speed control, he can make it do a lot in the back, relatively speaking.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of it as well about the burning up is generally they put the same amount of oil on every single pattern we bowl on, close to, whether it's long or short. So when the oil goes further down the lane, of course the oil's thinner because it's spread out over a longer distance. So that's the other reason as to why exactly what Chris is saying makes total sense, you know?
Yeah.
But in terms of layout, I don't necessarily. I think on long pans it's way more about cover than it is about layout.
Mark had my first chance at 300 last week. Paul went high and left a 4-pin. I was feeling the adrenaline. Hands were shaking the last couple frames. 100%. You can't, as silly as it sounds, you cannot forget to breathe when you get there. And even smile a little bit. It's amazing how much it relaxes your body when you smile. They don't tell Linda.
I was about to say, but if we go back to when Chris was doing that on those shows, it did look a little creepy.
Yeah.
When he was like,
worked okay, but
yeah. I'm just saying, it was just fun. You were like fighting yourself, and then you were like, Linda told me to smile.
Ryan used to do it when he pitched. The 12-year-old pitching, and he gives a little smile. You're like, what is he doing? And he'd smoke it by him. It was pretty funny. Merry Christmas. For an end of 25 Arsenal, what are your favorite 6 balls right now?
Well, I mean, after last night, Gremlin moved back up the list a little bit.
You used a Gremlin last night.
Sorry?
You used a Gremlin last night?
Yeah, all 6 games, all 6 games, all 3 games, yeah.
Oh.
For me, the Gremlin is really good when you can go straighter. Once you start to open your angle up, it's not as good, which seems very counterintuitive, but like it just flares so much. But anyway, some of my favorites, I don't know whether we're necessarily going to get to 6, but some of the favorites that I really have enjoyed towards the end of the year, Iron Pro Solid, the Viking. I've actually used the Hyperdrive Pearl a little more than I've given it credit for. And then, of course, this new Next Factor. I kind of like having something like that that's totally different. In 2025, I've still used XL. I didn't like the Optimus, the Equinox Solid as much as the shape I got out of the XL. And then one other ball that I've used way more towards the end of the year was the Attention Star. Way more to the end of the tour season, I mean.
Yeah.
So, what about you, Chris?
Hyperdrive, Equinox Solid, Viking, Hyperdrive Pearl, Next Factor, High Road 40. It's kind of
Ember was another one that you.
An Ion Solid. Yeah, I actually threw the Ember over the weekend again. Again, we get so many balls. Sometimes the balls get lost in the mix. I'm only taking 2 or 3 in the league, and you go, oh yeah, wait a minute.
Yeah. Why did you get to that point of, remind me, why did I stop using that one?
Right. And a lot of times there's no good reason other than I just put a new ball in the bag for a little bit to try it. And then somehow it just falls out of the rotation. You're not even, you don't even know why. And
Yes.
so, yeah.
I mean, that is definitely a first world issue
Mhm.
we have. And I do appreciate the position we're in, and we're trying our best to give you guys good buying feedback.
Yeah, but when it's league season only, there's a lot of balls that look pretty good on league. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, I bowl good. So I just leave this one in the bag. And then you don't end up getting the other one back out again, which doesn't make that much sense. Mix or plastic for spares. The mix is actually a harder urethane mostly. So depending on how much you rotated at spares, both can be fine. I throw it pretty straight, but I found a mix on some of the things we bowl on tour would tip just enough. And if I chop the 3 off the 610 or whatever one time, that was enough for me to go, no. And I'm not going to use either one of them for a strike.
Yeah.
So I just throw plastic because it goes the straightest.
I was about to say, here's the answer that I give to people who ask it. I will never use a mix because I feel like I thumb down too many and they grab the front a little bit, and that's enough to upset me. And then I get mentally a little bit shaky over whether I should be open or not or whatever. But if I throw the ball hard and I buy my own bowling balls, I am 100% throwing a mix, because I have broken every single plastic ball I've ever owned because I go over the thumb or I hit the fingers, or, they just chunk out. And I have used mixes in the past and I have never come even remotely close to damaging one. They are one of the few things in the industry that I can say for sure when they say, and the axe is probably the same thing because that's a one of these super hard urethanes also, is if you have to buy the balls, the mix is the way to go because it just doesn't break.
It's more durable.
Yeah, it's just way more durable.
By a factor.
Yeah.
If
I mean, if you throw it
holes,
yeah,
use a mix. Because one, if you clip the holes, it's not going anywhere anyway for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's just for me and Chris, we're at the point where missing a 3-6-10 can be very spendy.
Yeah.
If I'm just bowling local tournaments, or I'm like, if I stop bowling on tour and like, Storm keep me on staff or whatever, and I'm just, going through, and I'd use a mix all the time because I wouldn't really give a shit if I missed the odd 3-6-10. So
heard that skipping helps you relax and smile. I've had that advice before.
I've heard that kicking the shit out of things helps as well.
Gives them temporary endorphin release.
Yeah.
It's rumored. I can only talk to the rumors. Big Trav, thank you. Submitting my entry. Can we get some traction for a new phrase? The one-legged turkey? Strike good or spare strike? Ironically, I like that, but I had one last week.
First game, Chris is used his urethane ball, and he had the old 9 spare in the 4th frame without throwing at 1.
Yeah, sliding about 7. I laid her down about 1, and I got it going a little right. And there was no room for it to be.
I was about to say, I was laying it down right in front of me. The only problem was I slid a little bit too far right, so I laid it right in the gutter.
Yeah. Pretty much, it caught the edge. It early. It was not. It didn't go right in, but it didn't make it much past the arrows.
It was more likely to bounce out than it was to stay on the lane. That's always my clarification of it.
All right, let's get through some of these. Big Kahuna, need a new ball locker was broken into last year. They took my attention star, left my game breaker 3 and an old motive Hydra.
Oh, he needs a new ball. His locker was broken into. Wow, that's fucked up.
That was last year. Yeah, new ball. All right. There you go. Never seen a cracked mix in my shop.
Hey Casey, thank you for the ball. I
100%.
will let you know who wins, but appreciate you.
Yeah, both are right with the mixes. It's grabby, but I had to buy one because I was sick of cracking plastic balls. That.
And like maybe the thing with the mix is if you just stay on. I don't know if we did this one with Mike, but Merry Christmas. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate
Okay.
you. Maybe if you stay on top of keeping it shiny. Yeah.
Big Trav, no worries, man. I didn't take. I own all my nonsense, so I just thought it was funny. I just, as you said it, I didn't. I didn't
Ironically,
read who it was from until or didn't put it together. It made me laugh.
yeah, yeah. You went. You had flashbacks.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. Last question, or at least one of. Girlfriend's looking to get her first reactive ball. Any suggestions for entry level ball?
Yeah, I mean, on our side, I think Hustle's a really good option. I mean, the pro shop will have a favorite. Some pro shops like Hustle, some like the Raw Hammers, they do pretty well. Rhinos, another one. To be honest, when you're first doing it and you're first getting a reactive ball, I think it's way more about finding one that you like the color of, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, they're all basically the same ball with different colors, so you can find something that you like to look at.
Yeah, principally. So just go in the shop and tell them, and like the pro shop generally stocks one of those type of scenarios. If you go one of the bigger shops, they'll probably stock 2 or 3 different versions of that, and they've got all the weights. Danger Zone is another one that's a little bit more expensive that seems to be people are stocking. Typhoon is another one that's kind of like first ball plus, I guess, for one of a better description.
It's a little bit more expensive, I believe.
Yeah, a couple of people are saying you can't go wrong with a Hustle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where Motive do the Thrills, I think they're called. So like all the companies have a version of it.
Identities are down to 120, so if you can find one of those, I guess that's a lot of ball for an entry level.
This is fun. Summit Ascent replacement ball and a bit weaker but stronger than a Tropical.
Closest thing is ironically an Equinox Solid and put polish on it.
Okay.
That's where I would go with it.
I like I say, I was actually having that debate just the other day that we didn't necessarily have many of those sort of symmetrical ball options that don't have, like, we don't have a bigger symmetrical core with like a kind of a milder cover.
Right. And that's the only way I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, that's
there. Because all our symmetricals right now have strong polished covers. And the Summit was the other way. The Ascent was the other way, is a cleaner matte finish. But it wouldn't be identical, but that's probably the closest.
Happy holidays. Right.
How about the kid at Victory Lane shooting what he said, 296, 278, 296 for the house record, 870. It's pretty cool. The place we bowled, that place isn't that easy to strike at. Bowled a couple of tournaments there on the senior tour. We bowled there too. They don't really get out of the way. But 870 in a place a lot of good bowlers are bowl. I mean, it's George Pappas's house. I'm not sure if it still is or not, but yeah.
Okay, right. So let's give this this ball away. Let me just share the screen. We've got right around 270 something chat. So I've done 279. So let me just share. Do you see that, Chris? I know you don't see that yet because I haven't.
There we go.
There you go. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Okay,
No problem.
let's generate.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right. So, okay, let me just count back. So 239. I will just give me a few seconds. Chris can keep thingy while I go.
Merry Christmas from Manila. Big Trav regarding mix and plastic tin burning up a track. Yeah, those clear ones they do, and once they get a track in them, they actually hook quite a bit. But you can repolish it, and that'll help out. I think some. You could also resurface it if you want, but the mix. I'm very confused as to how it happens in the plastic balls because they go really straight. I think those clear ones are really hard. But once they do get a track in them and burned up, then they do hook a lot more. So I guess it's like a racing slick. Did you get through them?
Yeah. The winner was Henry. So, Henry, send me a email. Congratulations. Send me an email, beefandbarnzy@gmail.com. Send me which ball you want, address to send it to, a weight, and I will get that out to you. Yeah.
What about lightning or storm ice? I'm a fan of the ice myself. Versus
Also
clear ones.
cheaper.
I find that they're a little more durable for me.
Yeah.
I like the clear ones better. I like the way they look. I like the way, but I tend to break them a little faster, and so I go with the ice. And then, like Stu says, if I'm just looking to get games out of a ball, then I'll just use the mix. And just there's a few places that really are really hard on balls for whatever reason, and so sometimes GSXs for me are really hard on them in the corners, and so I've gone and just used a mix that weekend, especially if it's a longish pattern. It's not gonna matter which ball I throw down there at it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but yes, I do think that the track does burn quite quickly into those balls, but I also think that they're pretty easy to get repolished. And then they're fine.
The RG spare,
yes,
basically a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the black. It's the RG retro, I think it's called.
Yeah, the black and red one, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I hated that one. I think it was also 15-0, which was also a thing that didn't necessarily help me.
You don't necessarily have to resurface it, or do you have to? You feel like you have to resurface the clear ones? Oh, I'm sorry. That's most of the time. Polish is enough.
Yeah,
to be honest, because when you resurface the storm balls, lots of time have 500 underneath the 2000, and then polish anyway. So there's lines in there. Just put some shine on the top of it. No, I did not drill my next factor. So the Vibo is so much lower RG. I drilled it quite a bit weaker than I drilled the next factor. I have had a tropical surge, a black one, but it just got to where I never used it. The regular tour, like if I bowled more amateur tournaments again, yeah, because they bowl on them all day. They bowl way more games on them in longer tournament formats without running them versus the tour. And the senior tour just doesn't break them down as much. We just don't get in the left gutter like that very often.
The problem for me is like the tropical surge for me would be a ball that I would only use at the start. Just because like it just for what we bowl on when we bowl on a long block, there's way too much oil down the lane and we're way further left.
Mm-hmm.
It just wouldn't like I couldn't imagine a time. I struggle to use hustles late on in blocks because they won't go through the pins. That's why I'm kind of excited to try this next factor in more PBA stuff because it's actually still got some guts, but it's getting down the lane. Whereas the hustles, you kind of sacrifice the core, and I just find that with my rev rate when I get into those, I just was really struggling to get them to go through the pins. So
yeah, two-handers get away with those X-rays and things like that a little more with the stronger cover that would roll, and they didn't need the core. And I guess it makes sense because IQ tours were very good for a lot of you guys, but that was when you were in the upper 25% of the rev rate.
And again, IQ Tour was another ball for me that looked way better at the start than it ever did. Because when they don't fly very much to me, they tend to not hook very much, like overall boards covered. Yeah. And that can be quite useful. So Hustle X-Ray for me was a pretty good ball on the fresh because it just didn't want to. I could keep it closer to the head pin because of how little it flared. But thank you everybody who's contributed, who's watched the show this year. We haven't necessarily done as much as we'd have liked to have done video-wise, but the show has been well received all year. We will be back next year. We have all of the same sponsors on board. We have all the same support in terms of product from Storm. So thank you to them. Thank you to Rob Gottschall, Gary Hulsenberg for believing in the show being a good idea. And thank you to all of you guys who have convinced them that it's a good idea by, constantly showing out. So I will get all this super chat stuff together. I've got to have a chat with Coolwick to figure out these orders and where they're going and stuff. So, but if you did place an order during the show, please send me an email so I can get with them so I know exactly what's going on. Yeah. But like I say, it's been an entertaining year, just not maybe as successful as we wanted.
Right. Phase 2 is good on a fresh hot shot. Snowman Doubles coming up in a couple weeks. Kudos to them. They put together a mostly scratch women's tournament this last weekend. They're trying hard to do things for both the guys and the girls. And so we'll see Mr. Skillings at Fire Lake here in a few weeks. I don't know what else we got. That about it?
I think that is about it. Yeah.
All right. We will be back. We'll let you guys know who won the bowling balls when we come back. I appreciate all of those. I appreciate you guys being the most knowledgeable group in bowling and that you come here to hear and be heard with us. And, as my wife says, we're all just trying to make bowling a little bit better. So until next time, please support the sponsors to support us: Storm, Rotogrip, Niner Global, Coolwick, Bowlers Mart, Fire Lake Bowling Center, Lightning Strikes, and Platinum Ford. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
See you later. Thank you.